Hey everyone, Sparks back with another Girls Frontline 2 Exilium video, and this is the first in my series of unit reviews where I do kind of a deeper dive into using them and how you can build them. So Suomi is the #1 OP unit at launch and is still considered an S tier unit even in CN, who are almost a year ahead of us in the global server. She really is a one-woman army and does almost everything you could possibly want her to do. So in this video, I'm going to do a review of her skills, gear options, and just do a general breakdown and dive into using her. But before I start talking about Suomi, I want to preface this with the fact that this is a highly strategic game. So your overall team composition and how you move your units around is going to be more important than any one OP unit. Of course, like most games, the biggest factor in your success is going to be just your level. So, keep that in mind as well. But from what I've seen, especially even looking ahead in the CN version, I wouldn't be surprised to see us building a lot more than just one strong 4-unit team just because of the amount of strategy that goes into this game. Because some units just aren't equipped to deal with some enemies or maps. But with that said, Suomi is amazing, so let's talk about her. The first aspect that I want to talk about is unit type and stats. If you don't already know, there are 4 classes of units in Girls Frontline 2. Suomi is a support type, which generally offers buffs, stability damage, heals, and other utility. Her defense is super high, which is good since she's a defensive support, but her damage also scales off of her defense stat, which makes her actually do really good damage. She can actually do very good damage. 6 movement is normal, and then 10 stability is also normal for her class. She's weak to heavy ammo and corrosion element, although you probably don't need to worry about that too much, again, at least in this early stage of the game. A second copy of Suomi is very valuable, as getting fortification to segment 1 will make her skill 4, or burst as I'll probably call it in this video, because I'm a Nikkei player. It just makes that burst attack completely cracked. If I haven't made this clear already, I'm talking about the skill that takes a bunch of confectance index points. I think the game actually calls it an ultimate. So 1 dupe is really good. There are definitely diminishing returns with more copies, so don't feel like you need to keep pulling on her banner after that. Now let's talk about her skills. Every unit has 4 skills and a passive. Skill 1 is their basic attack, then they have a skill 2 and a skill 3, and skill 4 is their ultimate that usually costs a lot of those CI points. So for Suomi, skill 2 and 4 are what you want to use most of the time. Like with most units, her skill 1 or basic attack is not that important. Skill 3 is very good, but it costs a skill point or confectance index point. So generally you want to save that and not use that too much. Anyway, but going back to her skill 2, it can only be used every other turn because it does have a cooldown. Now it is really good because for every ally in her attack range, she does 2 additional points of stability damage. This allows you to chew through enemy cover very fast, and Suomi is just one of the best stability breakers you can use right now. Skill 3 gives a very strong shield to 1 ally, and when it finally gets broken, it freezes the enemy that broke it for 1 turn. Now, even though I mentioned her damage scales from her defense, conversely, the shield actually scales from her attack, so don't completely ignore her attack stat. Skill 4, or her burst attack, costs 5 CI points. It's a huge AoE diamond. Now, the most ridiculous thing about it is the avalanche debuff effect. It makes it so any freeze type effects from her or an ally, if you're using other ice kind of abilities, that are done to an enemy, give her an additional stack of, or give the enemy an additional stack of avalanche. And when they hit 5 stacks, they take 8 stability damage. Again, super strong stability damage unit. So making an ice team could be pretty good, pretty insane with Suomi. But again, she's going to be great even in just any kind of general team. Enemies will lose their stability super fast when you're using Suomi. This is also one of the reasons for getting 1 dupe of Suomi. One of the reasons why it's so good, because it'll increase the initial stacks of avalanche when you use the ultimate right away. It also adds heals to your whole team. It makes a stronger shield. It gives a regen effect if the unit doesn't have any damage already. And it gives a stability heal. So do anything you can to get 1 dupe of her. Anyway, skill 4 also removes taunt from allies, which can be super valuable. You don't want your girls just running around at random. If they are taunted, you will lose direct control, and then even if you're on auto, your AI is going to get messed up. And it removes a debuff. Plus, it gives a shield to the whole team. I mean, it really does anything and everything you could want. Now, her passive skill just regenerates CI skill points at the end of each turn. This is really good because it allows you to use that skill 3 a bit more, as well as, of course, her ultimate. It also heals all allies within her attack range at the end of turn. And this is, again, kind of a nuts ability. It just does so much, especially the fact that she unconditionally gains CI is super good. Okay, so now let's talk about gear. Her signature weapon, the Unspoken Calling, which you will have to pull for if you want it, isn't super important, but it's still probably best in slot like almost any unit using their signature weapon. Honestly, I haven't tested that many different weapons on her. I haven't pulled for this weapon, at least not yet. It increases freeze damage and makes her shield 10% stronger. Right now, I've just been using the purple Suomi version of the gun. For attachments, something with emergency repair effect is really good because she will give even more stability points when she heals. This might be an underappreciated or overlooked effect, but I think that's probably the best type of attachment you can use. Ultimate Pursuit is also really nice since she uses shields and heals, etc. Otherwise, anything that increases the defense stat should be solid. Now for keys, I would highly recommend the one that gives her 3 skill confectance points or CI points, so you can immediately pop off with that skill 4. Another really powerful key is the one that recovers HP and then 1 stability each turn as long as your stability isn't already 0. Alright, so basically she can do everything a support unit that you would want. She's still considered S tier in CN and is easily the most valuable unit in the game right now for global. I'd pull for her if you haven't already and try to get a second copy as well. If you didn't get her, don't stress too much. Banners will rerun, and if we follow the CN pattern, it should happen decently soon. Rate up or target recruit units do not get added to the normal pool for Girls Frontline 2. This is really important. This is definitely different than some other games like Nikke, but they do come back. So if you miss the banner, they're not like truly limited units. You will get to try for them again. Anyway, subscribe for more Girls Frontline 2 Exilium unit reviews, also news and a lot of Nikke stuff if you play that as well. If you subscribe, it'll really help my channel out. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video or stream.